Hola.
Hola, buenos dias, or good afternoon, whenever you're watching us.
Good evening.
Or good evening, yes, that's correct.
I'm Estela.
I am Barb. I am...
And this is
Cafecito and Crime.
Wow.
Wow.
That's it?
Yeah. Okay, so today we were like, we have to do something different. And we're going to make our own coffee, right?
At the house.
At the house. So Estela gets here in the morning. Mind you, for some reason, I don't know why, like Friday just, to me, it was just like a blur. I just went to work, blah, blah, blah. But then I didn't go buy creamer, right? So then she gets here and I'm like, dude, I have no creamer or no heavy cream.
And then I forgot my frother.
And she didn't have her frother. Oh my God. You know what? So technically it's also your fault. So then she's like, go get coffee. So I went to go get coffee. And so I'm trying something new.
She didn't know what to get because she didn't want to, she didn't want to get the same que siempre agarra el venti con.
Yeah, the Americano venti with
sugar-free vanilla. And
so we're trying this one.
And she was like, let me spice it up a bit.
Yeah,
I was like.
And guess what, sister? They spelled your name wrong. Not with 2 L's.
Oh, it's because it's on the app. So in my, it's under Estela Babosa.
What the fuck?
So that's why.
Anyway, so then I ordered a grande nitro cold brew with extra, because I'm extra.
Yeah.
Because I'm extra. Salted caramel.
Cold cream.
Cold cream.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know last time I ordered the chocolate cream cold brew and I was like, it's not a nitro. It's good, but it's not a nitro. So today I did just that. I got a nitro cold brew and then I just added the chocolate cream cold foam.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know, guys.
I hope
Se mira medio raro, eh? No les voy a
medio
mentir.
oscuro. It's kind of dark.
No, you know what? I don't mind it, but I think that the extra cream or extra...
It's making it look weirder.
It looks a little thick, like the owner.
Yeah.
You know how I roll, bitch. You know how I roll. Anyway, so welcome to everybody that is new. We appreciate it. I honestly had no idea how amazing it is for people to actually like watch your or listen to your content. And we found out this week, like, we have so much support and it's amazing. Not only from Estela, but my sister and me, and we just never even imagined that this was going to be this
Tier,
yeah.
Tier.
One tear
that rolling down my face.
Yeah, so we really appreciate everybody, all of my family, all of Estela's family, all of our friends, and anybody else that's listening that is not our family. We consider you family now, and you can be my prima. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? Síguete carne asada.
Oh yeah, can we have a carne, please? Because I've been wanting some. Yeah,
okay,
that
who's
sounds
gonna
yummy.
cook it?
I don't know. Anyway, so once again, thank you for
all the support.
Muchas gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
Okay, but try the nitro.
Let's try this coffee, guys.
I want to get Barbie into nitro.
I don't know.
Because I like it, so
es que lo que pasa
I love it.
I know you love it. But lo que pasa es que honestly, like, I like my coffee hot.
En las mornings.
But it's too fucking hot out here.
It's kind of cloudy right now, so it's actually not bad, but like, no llueve, dude. It hasn't rained.
Dude, my roses that my dad gave me están más muertas que nada, and I feel so bad because I told him not to give me shit. Your mom helped me, la regó, she put some water on them, pero they were like, bitch,
we're gonna die
anyway. So, okay, let's try this. I don't know if I'm supposed to mix it or qué pedo aquí.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I should mix it. But it tastes good. That's not bad.
Is it the cream or what? Is it too much cream? Is it too thick?
I don't know. There's never too thick, girl.
You put a lot of cream.
I didn't know. I was like, yeah.
Extra, sure.
Bro, if people ask for extra, I'm going to say yes.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
No matter. But, a ver, ¿y el tuyo que no tiene tanta crema?
Clink.
Oh, clink. Cheers.
A ver.
So, estamos bien babosas. ¿Y tú qué?
I love it.
You love it.
I'd still prefer the vanilla to the chocolate, but that's just who I am in life.
Last night I went to go see my sister-in-law. Shout out to my other sister-in-law because I have another one.
My sister.
She's my
Hi,
bestie.
Tina.
Hi, Tina. So I went to go visit her and she asked me to bring her some cafe. And
when you were on your way there.
Yeah, I was on my way there and I had an incident with my DoorDash order, but whatever. Story was that they stole my order.
And you got your money back.
And I got my money back. And so then I was like, I'll stop and get you some. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. So ya me tomé uno también. It was mocha. que no sé qué pedo. Y it was okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do you mind? I know you just said in the mornings que necesitas que tu café esté caliente. Can you drink cold coffee in the mornings? Like
No,
usually.
I can't.
I know this is a nitro is usually like cold, but it doesn't have ice. But do you mind that?
See, it took me a while to understand why it didn't have ice. And
it's-
I don't mind it. Nada más que, pues...
Es costumbre?
Es costumbre. Like, you know, your cafecito que you had to blow on it.
And
you
then,
know,
like, warms
and
your
then
insides.
warms your insides and like that.
Not
You
a
know,
cold one.
Not a cold one. And I like cold coffee en la tarde if I have to.
But
have
would
one.
you have a hot coffee en la tarde?
Yeah, I'll have a hot coffee in la tarde.
Oh, yeah. You sometimes use it as pre-workout.
Yeah, we use it as pre-workout. I'll do it as black and just use it as pre-workout.
Yeah.
So welcome again. If you are new here, so let's get started. So today's story is going to be about...
A boat. Okay, so today's story is unsolved. Sadly.
Unsolved.
Unsolved. Technically unsolved. Yeah, unsolved. Unsolved. Because they don't know nothing.
Wow.
They don't know who did it.
Wow.
And 7 people died.
7?
7.
No mames.
Sí. So, vamos a empezar.
Okay, vamos a empezar.
What is Tylenol?
Medication.
I know. Well, how it started. I'm going to brief you.
We're going to do a history of Tylenol.
A history of Tylenol.
Ding. That was stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm going to tell you in case you didn't know how Tylenol started or where it came from.
Guys, I don't know about this coffee que no tenga ice. Like, I'm still trying to process that shit. Pero órale, chingale, güey.
Tylenol, as you know, is a brand of acetaminophen. Acetaminophen is a pain reliever and fever reducer.
A ver, spell acetaminophen.
Well, I have it right in front of me, so I can spell it.
Okay.
It was first introduced to the market in 1955 as Tylenol Elixir for Children only. That's how it started.
That's why my dad gave it to me.
By McNeil Laboratories. And that just makes me think of Dexter's Lab.
Dude, yes.
And a prescription was required for it. Like, no podías nomás ir a comprarlo ahí a la tienda and be like, señora, ¿dónde está el Tylenol? Porque necesito uno para mi hijo or something. No, you needed a prescription.
As they should.
In 1959, Johnson & Johnson, as we know, they own everything and everybody, acquired McNeil Laboratories, and Tylenol was now under their pharmaceutical branch. In 1961, Tylenol for adults was launched into the market, and at that point, no necesitaba receta. ¿Es receta?
Yeah, receta. Prescripción.
Prescripción is a word?
Prescripción is a word.
Really?
Yeah, receta is more like receta for eating.
Oh, you're right. Spell it.
Prescripción.
Okay. The sales were good, steady climbing, así para arriba. Mm-hmm. And they were in the top 5 best-selling brands in the U.S. at that time.
I don't know if you said this, but were they using it for like
Tylenol that we know now, like extra strength.
pain reliever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I didn't know if they were using it for something else. You know, like coke and shit that they were using with cocaine. Okay.
So they were doing good. In 1976, Tylenol Extra Strength is launched into the market, like the extra strength that we know of today. And that same year, it becomes the numero uno over-the-counter analgesic. Now we're in Chicago in 1982, okay?
Chicago, 1982.
Chicago in the Chicago area in 1982.
So maybe my dad was giving it to my sister first for her to go to sleep, and then me.
And then you were born, and then you.
And then me, yeah. Okay, got it.
Mary Kellerman was a 12-year-old girl who woke up early on the morning of September 29th, feeling sick. Her parents let her stay home from school and gave her some Tylenol to take. Her dad recalls that she heard her go into the bathroom, heard the door close, and after that, he heard something drop. He le estaba hablando and be like, hey, Mary. Y no le contestaba. So he went and le tocó la puerta. And she didn't answer. Y so he opened the door y la niña estaba tirada. She was unconscious on the floor.
¿Cuántos años tenía? 12.
12.
Wow.
So he called the paramedics. Y llegaron, and then Mary was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead at 10 a.m. that morning.
What the fuck?
After an autopsy was conducted, it was concluded that she died of a stroke.
Pobrecita, what the hell? She
At
was
12.
12.
Yeah.
A stroke at 12.
Yes. That same day, Adam Janus was a 27-year-old postal worker who had called out from work on also September 29th because he wasn't feeling well. He thought he was getting a cold, so at noon he bought some Tylenol on the way home from picking up his kiddos from the preschool. He took it after they had lunch and he was going to go lie down. So he took the Tylenol, y se iba a ir a acostar, and he actually went staggering into the kitchen according to his wife, and he collapsed.
So right after he took the Tylenol?
Yeah, like
immediately,
like right after, fast. He was pronounced dead later that afternoon in the hospital. After his wife and the rest of the family were notified of his death, they all, estaban llorando. They all went back to their home.
Pues a velarlo, pues,
and talk about, his
funeral,
arrangements. All these people that are going to be talked about in this case, like it's all happening at the same time. Like all these people taking Tylenol, it's all happening throughout the same day for the most part.
Okay. So basically we're talking about a series of people that happen to pass away around the same time.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
At 3:45 p.m. that same day.
So ya se murió Adam.
Adam,
yeah. Se murió y se murió la niña.
Mary Kellerman.
Okay.
At 3:45 p.m., 27-year-old Mary Rayner, another Mary, they're not related, who had just given birth to her fourth child a week before.
Damn, girl, cuatro? No mames.
She took some Tylenol because she wasn't feeling well. She actually bought the Tylenol because she had gone to her appointment at the doctor's office, for just having a baby.
Yeah, postpartum.
Y le dijo that she wasn't feeling well, and the doctor told her, just take Tylenol, it's fine. So she, on the way home, she bought some Tylenol. She took it. She collapsed shortly after. Her husband called the ambulance, and she was rushed to the hospital. She died the next day on September 30th at 9:30 a.m.
Damn.
So we're going to go back to the Janus family.
Where
Adam used to live. Mm-hmm. And you know how I literally just said that, the family went back with his wife, now widow, to their house.
A ver al señor, a tomar café.
So they were over there at his house. Su brother, the Adam, Stanley, who was 25, had a headache. So he asked his wife, named Teresa, to get him some Tylenol. Teresa went looking for it y lo encontró en el baño. She gave 2 tablets to Stanley, and she took 2 tablets herself because también estaba dando dolor de cabeza.
Pues de tanto llorar.
Sí. He collapsed moments later, and Teresa right after he did.
Stop it!
Yeah.
No mames.
So they're like, what the fuck? How did these 2 people just, familias like call the paramedics? Yeah. So they were like, 2 people collapsed. So llegaron like una rista de paramedics, and there were like 4 paramedics were working on Stanley, and then 4 were working on Teresa, because lo que le estaba pasando a Stanley le pasaba a Teresa like right after. They were like back to back to back. So they were rushed to the hospital. Dr. Thomas Kim, who was Adam's doctor, had just, literally just seen him, told his family that he had passed away. He was getting ready to leave for the day to go home. And a nurse went up to him, and he was like, I was taking off my coat. He was like, hey, the Janus family's coming back. And he said that he thought that it was the parents, porque, they were older. They were probably like super upset. Y que le dijo, no, it's the brother. So he was like, fuck, put it back on, his coat.
Well, that's a good doctor right there.
And he said that he was just really confused because he had just talked to Stanley and he couldn't understand. He was like, besides him being super upset that his brother had passed away, he was like, he looked healthy, 25 year old.
Yeah. De mi edad. Estúpida. No te rías, pendeja.
De tu edad? 12 years ago.
I hope you choke on your fucking coffee.
Stanley died that night, and Teresa died 2 days later on October 1st. She was 19.
¿Qué?
Yeah.
No mames, pobrecita.
So this is what,
Oh my God. Qué gacho, güey, no mames.
So this is kind of started sparking suspicion.
Sparking suspicion?
Yeah, for sure. Because how did 3 perfectly healthy people from the same family all drop dead, Literally.
Literally, pobrecita gente, no mames.
The same day. Literally the same day.
Within the same hours, Estela.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
So the police get there, right? And then, and they asked Dr. Kim, they're like, hey, do you know what's going on or why this had happened? He was like, I have no clue. That same day, late afternoon, 31-year-old Mary McFarland,
No, all the Marys.
was at work
Las Marias too.
when she complained of a headache to her brother.
Tell him not to give her Tylenol.
So she goes to the back room of where she works. She takes some Tylenol and collapses within minutes.
Dude, what is trippy about this is, and what I'm kind of like getting to is the fact that se están muriendo like immediately. Like it doesn't even like, is it something that it doesn't even hit their system that fast? You know, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, she also gets rushed to the hospital and dies the next day on September 30th at 3:15 a.m. So all of these people are getting rushed to the hospital. You know, they all live within Chicago areas, Chicago suburbs. But, you know, hospitals don't communicate weird deaths to each other, right? Like, be like, hey, some weird person, not some weird person, but somebody died of, you know, strange cause. There wasn't like a doctor chat or something like that.
Yeah.
So they weren't making any connections because of that, because hospitals don't communicate odd causes of death between each other. But since the Janeses sparked suspicion, the police went over to their home to see if they could figure out what caused them all to end up the hospital like that.
That's true. Like I guess that back then there wasn't a lot of communication, but now in days like
it's easier now.
It's easier. Like I know that my doctor, she communicates with other doctors too, but we have cell phones and stuff like that. But back then in the
internet, we have internet. Yeah.
Not only that, but most of the stuff is like, oh, if you were seen in the same hospital, we could see it in the system. And, But back then, pues obviamente que no, you know.
Yeah. So a public health nurse, her name is Helen Jensen, an investigator with the medical examiner's office, Nick Pichos. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if it's incorrect. It's Pishos. And police officers arrive at the Janus home that evening to try to see what they could figure out. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. They searched the home and tried to look for something that could possibly be contaminated, right? Because they were like, maybe they were poisoned, but what? Nurse Jensen walked into the bathroom, searched the cabinets, and found an open bottle of Tylenol that had her, and a receipt was like close by.
Hold on. Before we move on, bros, dudes, guys, guess what? If you mix the coffee with the cream,
it's better.
It's better. So whenever you get a nitro, whatever the fuck, make sure that you mix it. Because si no, sabe...
It's dark coffee. It's black. It's just cold
Sí,
brew.
pero no hay pedo. Pero lo que pasa es que then, like, for me, it's like, it doesn't taste... It just tastes amargo, you know? But now that I mixed it, it's really good. I would put some ice in it. I'm sorry. I feel like it is either really cold or really hot. But, okay. Continue.
So she picked up the bottle of Tylenol and she saw that there were 6 capsules missing. You know, things were clicking. Thoughts were beginning to form in her mind.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
And it was a thought that she had that maybe, you know, Tylenol, it was all because they all took Tylenol. They leave the home and she takes a bottle of Tylenol with her back to the hospital.
Yeah, because we do, like, whenever somebody is sick, you ask them, what have you done differently?
Or what did you take?
Or whatever. Yeah. But these people were dead, but everybody else didn't see them take the Tylenol, so they probably didn't know.
That same evening, 35-year-old flight attendant Paula Prince, who had just landed back home in Chicago, stopped by a Walgreens on the way to her apartment and bought some
Tylenol.
Yeah.
El Tylenol.
So in a small room back at the hospital, there's just like a tiny ass room. The people are there, the police, the nurse, the doctor, trying to figure out what happened to the Janeses or what's going on. Porque está todo sospechoso. La nurse, Jensen, she's like, hey, you know, what if I have this bottle of Tylenol. They all took Tylenol. And they were like, no.
¿Te digo?
They're like, no. They're just like, okay, but no, it's not that. So they're like, okay, let's try to really figure out what happened here, you know? But they couldn't come up with anything. They didn't understand.
How about listen to the nurse?
And ella le dijo, he was like, we know that Stanley and Teresa took it, and for sure Adam took it too, because la enfermera, she had talked to Adam's wife when he was at the hospital, who her wife también is named Teresa, like his brother's wife named Teresa. So they were both named Teresa.
That's too much.
Y le dijo, hey, did he take anything before he collapsed and came into the hospital? She's like, yeah, he took Tylenol. So investigator Pichos was in the know about Mary Kellerman, the 12-year-old that had passed away earlier that morning. And he recalled that her dad said that she had taken Tylenol before she collapsed. So he was able to get the Elk Grove Village Police to get the bottle over to the hospital. So he compared the bottle from the Janus's home to Mary Kellerman's bottle. They both had the same control number, I guess, like the batch.
Yeah, like a batch, like a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot, yeah. MC2880. He called the deputy medical examiner and told him this. So Deputy Donahue told him to open the bottles and smell them. So P shows, opens the bottles. He pours them out. And, I mean, the capsules look fine, right?
Yeah.
Like, nada que ver.
Pero nada más olían raro.
Yeah, he poured them out, noting that nothing seemed suspicious about the capsules, and he told the deputy that both bottles had a strong smell of almonds.
What?
And at the same time, when he said this, and he recalls that on the phone, they both said the same thing, cyanide. What is cyanide, bitch?
What is cyanide? Yeah, that's a good question. Almonds, apparently.
This is what the deputy medical examiner Donahue says about it. Cyanide is a chemical asphyxiant. It blocks the utilization of oxygen by red blood cells. You can be in an atmosphere with plenty of oxygen and you can breathe it in, but it doesn't get picked up by the red blood cells. And you asphyxiate. He's like, it causes brain damage and cardiac arrest.
Wow.
Something I thought it was like, whoa, is that not everybody is able to detect the smell of cyanide. According to health.gov, between 20 and 40% of the population does not carry the gene needed to detect the odor of cyanide. So the fact that Pichos was able to smell it, he was one of the people that carries that gene to smell it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That means que it was meant to be, you know?
Yeah.
No, y además de eso, like, I've heard a lot of people que they can, like, people that you either like cilantro or not, or don't like cilantro. Apparently, like, there's a chemical in our body that makes you, like, I love cilantro, but there's some people that cannot stand cilantro.
Like, more than just not liking it. Yeah. Like, they literally cannot.
They cannot, like, smell it, nothing like that. And they said it's like certain people have that chemical or whatever that they don't like cilantro.
I like cilantro.
Well, I feel like cilantro is just one of those things that you can taste it, but not really. And so there's some people, I'm guessing that it makes it, the chemical that we have in our body, it makes you have a stronger smell for it or a stronger taste for it.
Or distaste in this case.
Or distaste, yeah. So that's crazy. I can't believe that. I had no idea.
Yeah. The more you know.
Pues es que aprendí algo nuevo ahora.
Sí. Mm-hmm. So the blood samples for the 3 Januses were sent out to a lab, you know, because this shit was weird. Why 3 people from the same family dying the same fucking day? So their blood samples get sent out. The test results come back 1:30 in la madrugada, being September 30th, which showed 100 to 1,000 times more than the necessary amount to kill a human of cyanide.
Damn, that's why they were going down fast.
Yes,
Wait,
exactly.
No
like right away. This gets back to like Johnson and Johnson ASAP. So
Johnson and Johnson's a big company, so
they don't play.
They don't play.
Mm-mm. So around 10 a.m., an attorney from Johnson and Johnson arrives at the medical examiner's office, and he gets presented with everything that they found. You know, everything that they've gathered. And he leaves. He was like, "Okay, I seen. Gotcha." The CEO from the medical examiner's office, Roy Dames, then speaks on the phone with the president of the lab company that produces Tylenol. And he tells them that, hey, you know, we're going to have a press conference because the public needs to know what's going on.
This.
And you know what he said?
What did he say?
Do you have to?
No, motherfucker, we don't have to.
And then Roy responded, he was like, well, do you have a better idea? Y que le dijo, well, no. Well, bitch.
Shut the fuck up. Cállate los hocico, pinche pendejo.
People are dying.
People are dying. What if somebody has it right now in their cupboard and they're about to take it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Pinche estúpido.
The press conference announced the deaths and how they were related to people taking Tylenol and told residents to stop taking it.
Pues sí, güey.
Until further notice.
Yeah.
Nurse Jensen went actually against her superiors.
What?
And notified the police.
Good.
Since nobody was telling the police department nothing. Like she was like, "Hey, y'all need to get Tylenol off the shelves." So they were like, "Do it." And
I'm telling you, the nurses, they turn into whatchamacallit, lifesavers, but they also do detective work. They're everything.
So that same evening, Johnson & Johnson recalled the bottles of Tylenol with the control number MC2880 only. So, okay, that batch, they were like, okay, no, we need to get it off the shelves.
So how long did it take? And I don't know if you know this or not, but how long did it take for them from the point of everybody finding out?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay, cool.
Everybody started getting rushed to the hospital on the 29th. The people that were affected by this. On October 1st at around 5 p.m., a welfare check was conducted for Paula Price. Remember, I just talked about Paula Price. She's a flight attendant.
She's a flight attendant, yeah. From Chicago.
Yes.
Okay.
Paula Price had failed to show up for work and was not answering phone calls. Police found her on the floor in her apartment and an open bottle of Tylenol in her bathroom.
No mames.
She had taken it that night. She bought the bottle, which was the 29th.
Yeah.
And did not get to see the press conference warning people not to take any.
Oh, no.
The bottle was in her bathroom. They saw the bottle in her bathroom. She took it and I guess just walked out and ahí quedó. That's how fast it was killing everybody. Boy, it had like 100 times to 1,000 times more than the necessary amount to kill somebody.
Yeah, pero como por ejemplo, once again we go back to the same thing. If you're not watching the news back then,
well, that's what she said. She took it that same night, so she didn't see the news.
Watch the news,
so she didn't get a chance to.
Like you get like alerts and Twitter and shit.
After Paula was found and her death was attributed to the Tylenol, a press conference was released by the mayor. It was announced that all Tylenol in Chicago was going to be pulled from the shelves immediately. Immediately.
Ahorita.
Police officers were going door to door collecting bottles. Police were driving down the street with the bullhorn saying, "Don't be taking fucking Tylenol."
That's the kind of shit that we need to see happening.
They were like, throw it away, dump it down the toilet, bring it to us to like a fire station or
all Tylenol.
All Tylenol.
No importa que pinche la number ni nada.
No,
todos. Okay.
Take it to a police department, take it to the fire station, throw it away, do not take it. They even printed out flyers in different languages and were passing it out to everybody on the streets.
That's
like people, they were fucking moving. They're like, hey, people are dying. That's what
I want to see, Rich.
So a poison control hotline in the city was ringing off the hook. There were...
No, because es que ponte a pensar también, like, if you took it and then you think that that's your bottle, I'm that hypochondriac to be like, hey, oh my God, I feel my stomach is hurting right now. I probably took the wrong Tylenol.
If people call and say that they took Tylenol that day before or before then, and that if they were going to be okay, asking, what should they do? And then they were like, well, if you took it yesterday and you're able to call us today, then you're okay.
Yeah, because it was killing people immediately.
Yeah, so they were like, just don't touch it anymore. Don't take it anymore. People were also checking themselves into the ER because they had taken Tylenol. And they just thought, See,
that would be our family.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, for sure. Like
No, and I feel like I'd be like, I didn't take Tylenol, but I just came here because I feel sick. So I just came to get checked out just in case.
I don't have Tylenol
in my house.
That would be Estela, my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law. All of y'all. Be like, hey.
I took Excedrin.
But it has some Tylenol particles in it. It was next to the Tylenol. And I think that I took some Tylenol.
Some particles flew on
into
my bottle, so that's why I'm here.
That would be my sister-in-law. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. This bitch, she thinks she's dying 24/7.
It was like panic, Barbie. Like
I believe you, and I probably, like I said, yeah.
So
because they're not releasing the fact that people are dying immediately, or that people are having the
they just know people.
They just know people are dying with Tylenol,
taking Tylenol.
So then I would have thought the same thing.
Imagine,
and I'm not a hypochondriac. But I would have thought the same thing, like, oh,
imagine
shit.
the panic, like,
no.
Or, like, especially the people would be like, not that you take it, but you give it to your kids or something, like a 12-year-old passed away.
But, that's what I'm saying, like, you don't know how much information that the public has.
Yeah.
So, like, at this point, you're like, don't take Tylenol. Well, shit, I took Tylenol 3 days ago, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going to happen to me. Like that.
By Tuesday, October 5th, remember, people started passing away the 29th, the 30th, By Tuesday, October 5th, Johnson & Johnson recalled all Tylenol products nationwide. 31 million bottles valued at more than $100 million.
Damn. And back then, $100 million, ¿te imaginas?
Yeah, and I think in today's money, it's like over 300 million. Tylenol commercials were taken off the air, shipments were stopped, and distribution was halted immediately. So, and it was like a worldwide story by this point. It wasn't just like, hey, this shit's happening in America.
Let us know if y'all heard about this, guys. I don't know if anybody is...
Yeah, if anybody remembers.
If anybody remembers or has ever heard about this case. Like, I never heard about it because I'm 25, but whatever.
After this, a $130 million nationwide investigation begins. There were many law enforcement agencies involved, including the FBI, the FBI.
Bro, we need to get her another kind of coffee because she is tripping balls, bro.
There was a hotline set up, and it was ringing day and night. Day and night. Day and night.
Hey, not only that. Okay, bro, that would be you calling every 5 minutes.
Hey, did you guys figure it out yet? Because I cannot live in a world where you guys do not know who did this.
Who did this?
Yes.
Like,
I'm like, hey, what's happening?
And then hang up and then call again.
Hey, so did you guys...
and then my sister-in-law, the other one, and then your mom is calling too. The Spanish hotline and shit. Damn, bro.
Thousands of leads were coming in and hundreds of people were out there investigating them, and people were interviewed from various areas of the country. They were able to rule out that the bottles were not tampered with in the manufacturing process because the bottles came from different facilities in different states. I think in Texas and Pennsylvania. So there was no way it was at that level.
It was in Texas? Fuck.
No, babosa. That's where the bottles came from.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Why we have to be in there?
So it was concluded that somebody went manually bottle by bottle. Randomly.
¿Quién tiene ese tiempo?
Somebody did. I don't know.
Dude, what the fuck?
Right? Like who did it?
Yeah, who's so evil? That's like evil shit.
They investigated ex-employees or angry customers of Johnson & Johnson or the stores, that the bottles were bought from, like ex-employees of those stores.
Like the Walgreens or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To see if anyone was holding a grudge or some shit, because people get angry and hold a grudge for nothing.
Back then they would change your Tylenol. Now they just shoot.
They even looked into stock transactions to see if anyone was trying to push down the value of Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, nothing. I don't know. Nothing.
Nada.
There weren't any concrete fingerprints that they could pull off the bottles that would be like, hey, this is somebody's print.
That's
this
impossible, dude.
Yeah, you know how many people touch?
Do you know how many people touch the Tylenol bottles? Not only that, the family that purchased it, the people that
put it up. Yeah,
there's no way.
So, and there wasn't any surveillance footage of the actual aisles where the product is at. There was the actual video of Paula Prince buying her Tylenol at the checkout, but not at the actual aisle. You know what I mean? Now they do. But back then, no.
No, ni creas. Tampoco now even because, now people be like, oh, we have cameras, but they're not turned on.
Yeah. On Wednesday, October 6th, a week after the deaths started, Johnson & Johnson received a letter demanding $1 million. And I quote, if you want to stop the killings. And I'm going to read you this letter real quick. Okay? Johnson & Johnson, parent of McNeil Laboratories. Gentlemen, as you can see, it is easy to place cyanide into capsules sitting on the store shelves. And since the cyanide is inside the gelatin, it is easy to get buyers to swallow the bitter pill. Another beauty is that cyanide operates quickly. It takes so very little, and there would be no time to take countermeasures. If you don't mind the publicity of these little capsules, then do nothing. So far, I have spent less than $50, and it takes me less than 10 minutes per bottle. If you want to stop the killings, then wire $1 million. Sorry, all I think about $1 million is Dr. Evil.
$1 million.
To a bank account, and the bank account number, enter here. At Continental Illinois Bank, Chicago, Illinois. Don't attempt to involve the FBI or local Chicago authorities with this letter. A couple of phone calls by me will undo anything you can possibly do.
Bro, you send, first of all, 101 True Crime. You sent the letter.
It's 1982.
1982. You send the letter. 101 fucking pendejadas with an account number.
The letter was quickly traced back to James W. Lewis, and a picture of him was released to the public.
What'd I just say?
This manhunt lasted 3 months, and he was arrested in December of 1982 and was held on a $5 million bond.
Querías $1 millón, güey. Te van a cobrar 5 para salir.
James Lewis was found guilty of extortion and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now, bitch, let me tell you something about James Lewis. We're going to talk about him real quick, okay?
We're going to talk about James Lewis?
Yeah, a little rundown of who would send this fucking letter to Johnson & Johnson, be like, hey, I poisoned the people. Give me $1 million if you wanted to stop.
Pinche pendejo, bro.
And I'm going to tell you a little bit about his ass.
Okay.
James and his wife moved to Chicago at the end of 1981 and called themselves Robert and Nancy Richardson. He was on the run from charges in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, wow.
His wife, Luann, worked at a travel agency, and James stayed home after he was fired from a short-lived job that he had. The bank account that the letter asked to have the $1 million deposited into belonged to Luann's ex-employer, the owner of the travel agency. The extortion letter was also written on stationery from that office. And it was thought that the letter was just a hoax to embarrass the ex-employer because he fired her because he believed that she was taking stationery for personal use.
Wow. I would be fired from my job immediately for that because I literally are always taking
Stationery.
Post-its.
James was also known as a con artist, had been convicted of mail fraud in Kansas City, Missouri, and was the primary suspect of a 1978 murder. That murder was of Raymond West, who was found dismembered in his attic. The case against him for that was later dismissed. The Kansas City Times also reported that James had once been committed to 2 Missouri mental health centers and was diagnosed as a schizophrenic.
Mamadas, güey. In the words of my sister, mamadas. O sea, this motherfucker, dude.
And they think that for the most part, they're like, okay, so he had nothing to do with the actual murders, but he did send the letter to get money por pendejo.
You think it, yeah, no tenía más que hacer.
No tenía más que hacer, and it kind of falls in line with las otras mamadas that he was doing everywhere else.
Exactly.
So they were like, no, he wasn't that, like...
smart.
He wasn't that smart.
He wasn't the smartest cookie in the bunch. Or he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed.
James Lewis was released in 1995 after serving 13 years out of a 20-year sentence. The 20-year sentence was combined with other charges. And it included the 10 years for the extortion and then other shit. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to talk about real quick. I'm just going to mention that somebody else who was thought to be a suspect. Now, Ted Kaczynski, infamously known as the Unabomber, was a suspect at one point too. You know the Unabomber, or you've heard of the Unabomber. I know the Unabomber. We know the Unabomber.
I really don't know much about the Unabomber. Girl. Yeah, that's another story.
No, he really is. He was like genius level smart. Like he was smart in mathematics.
Maybe we should do
yeah, we will.
An episode on him.
He completely went off the grid, you know, and then he started making homemade bombs. He mailed them out or hand delivered them. And the first bomb, he sent it to the University of Chicago. Over the next 20 years, he killed 3 people and injured way more. He was captured in 1996. He was smart. So they were like, okay, he was doing bullshit in Chicago or started doing bullshit in Chicago. Maybe he is the one that had a hand in
I have
Tylenol.
A question, though, which I know this is probably something that you probably already said, but how did Lewis know that there was cyanide in the actual Tylenol bottles? Is it something that was released through the press? Okay.
On October 21st, a Tylenol bottle that was turned in by a grocery store tested positive for cyanide. And that grocery store was close to the Walgreens where Paula Prince bought her bottle. By October 25th, the investigation had gone nowhere and the task force got cut down to 40 investigators from 115. 6 weeks after the news first broke, Johnson & Johnson held a news conference where they reintroduced Tylenol. They had worked with the FDA and presented now a tamper-proof product, like the ones that we know today, right? It had the cotton, the foil seal, the child-proof cap, and the plastic over the child-proof cap. And the capsules were also now replaced with caplets. So, you know, before you could just break them apart y adentro tenía el powder. So now they were just the caplets. This is crisis management. Like, this is what you do. You know, you're not worrying about, we're going to lose money. Well, bitch, people are dying.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, I know that everybody was like, oh my God, I wonder how they test. Oh, there we go. Howdy. I wonder how they test for cyanide. And I just Googled it real quick. And it says that the test, they chemically use a colorimetric test by a laboratory analysis using a gas, which is a chromography mass spectrometry. Which makes no sense, but they tested with the gas.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, wait, what?
They tested with the gas, but I was just also like that you just mentioned how much they were intaking. I was reading as well that it takes 24 hours for a test to determine the exposure. Pretty much, basically, it takes about 70 seconds for you to, like, if it's high enough for you to die from cyanide poisoning. It also says that exposure takes 24 hours, but according to the Department of Health recommendations, any delay to draw the blood, so any moment that they take long to draw blood or urine, can endanger the actual finding.
Okay.
So they had to be quick to find it.
Oh, because I mean, the test results came back by 1:30 that morning, and they had died that day, that 29th.
So I mean, they were pretty quick, which is good from the hospital as well to find out what was it that was killing them.
A year after the murders, Tylenol, they presented this tamper-proof packaging. And a year after the murders, Tylenol sales had bounced back. Like, they were back at the top. But I think for people that were close to the victims or that knew the victims or were part of their families, it probably took them fucking longer to even ever look at a fucking Tylenol bottle ever again.
True.
One of Paula Prince's co-workers stated that for 2 years, there was not a bottle of Tylenol or any over-the-counter medicines in her home. She said she was just fucking petrified all the time. Que su comida was poisoned. That her kids were gonna.
She probably would smell everything.
Bitch, how do you not?
Oh my God, pobrecita, that's so horrible.
Now, in 1983, Congress passed the Tylenol bill, making it a federal offense to tamper with consumer products. By 1989, the FDA established federal guidelines for manufacturers, requiring them to make all such products tamper-proof. Because of 1982 Tylenol murders, all of that came to me. You know how, like, now, even some of the milk that you buy, like, it has a little lever that you pull, or some of the bottles have that little seal, like, under your water bottle that pulls off and all that stuff because of this.
Oh, that's I'm sorry, but that's awesome. At least their deaths weren't, like,
for nothing. Yeah. You're like, oh, like, why did this have to happen for that to be a thing? But, I mean, that's always the case. Something bad always has to happen.
Yeah, not only that, but you never think that humans are so horrible. We've gone through this. I hate humans.
People are trash.
Yeah, people are horrible. Not guys, not you. Not you guys, bros, but...
Not you bros.
But, like, everybody that knows it, how horrible... But, everybody that was licking the fucking ice cream.
What the fuck?
Who the fuck does that, dude? Why are you trying to kill Bluebell ice cream? Bluebell ice cream is the best.
I love Bluebell ice cream.
I'm like,
why?
Like,
why?
Get your fucking mouth off of my ice cream.
Or just like, why are you fucking with people? The case remains unsolved. They don't know who did it.
Bro, I can't believe that.
Like, how do people get away with this shit? Like, was it just one person? Was it two people? Was it multiple people? And why?
I wonder,
just to see?
Like, can you tell if now is there anybody's actually, like, sometimes con tiempo, like, the people actually will be like, I did it or whatever.
No.
But nothing.
Quiero entender, pero no quiero entender, because why would I want to be able to understand why somebody would do that?
And I'm just saying, like, be nice, dude. Like, let's stop we don't want to kill each other.
And the Dr. Kim said if it wasn't for the Januses going back to Adam's house and them taking Tylenol too, they wouldn't have figured it out.
No.
And more people would have died.
Like all the Marys, la niña que se murió, the other Mary, todo esto que se murió, que they wouldn't have connected
the dots. Yeah. So the fact that 3 people die from the same family is what kind of be like, okay, something's going on. And then, when cases like this are this big, there's always a motherfucker out there, pinche pendejo, that either gets some sort of inspiration or copies it.
Oh my God.
A copycat. In 1986, a horrible woman named Stella Nickel poisoned her husband,
no mames,
Bruce Nickel, by lacing his Excedrin pills with cyanide to collect his fucking life insurance policy.
Ya se habían tardado, güey.
And to throw investigators off the trail, she tampered with bottles on shelves at the stores.
So to say it was Excedrin?
Yes. And another lady died.
No!
Yeah.
Oh my God. I need to find out how these people...
Sue
if
Snow.
Anybody knows...
Sue Snow was her name.
Pobrecita.
Yeah, señora.
She just had a headache.
Yeah, and she took Excedrin. She bought Excedrin, which was laced with cyanide, because this fucking bitch wanted to make it seem that it was like the Tylenol thing all over again.
She went to jail and died in rotten death.
She was sentenced to 90 years.
Yeah, she deserved it. I'm sorry, she did.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
I'm sorry.
Why would you do
haces
that?
Mamadas y ¿qué te pasa? You pay for the mamadas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Well, except for the person that did the Tylenol murders, because mamadas no les pasaron a ellos, because they got away with it.
Dude, I can't believe they got away with it. Like, nobody's ever opened the case up again?
Yeah, they got reopened. I think I saw, if I'm not mistaken, in 2009. But if they know anything or have found out anything, they wouldn't release it to the public. And that's the case.
The story of
the 1982 Tylenol murders.
That's crazy, dude. I know my dad used to give me Tylenol, como les estaba diciendo, when I was little to make me go to sleep. And you know what? He was probably didn't know about the cyanide case.
Because I asked my coworker, because she was here, I think she was like 20 something, and like I asked her, I'm like, hey, have you ever heard about this case? She was like, I think I recall something of that case. She's like, but I don't remember it really. It just blows my mind
I don't think because my dad was giving me Tylenol like if it was fucking Skittles, apparently, to what I heard. So
damn,
I don't think
bitch.
he knew.
Was that his melatonin for you?
That was a melatonin for me. Por eso estoy bien una pendejada. Like, for real. Thanks, Dad.
We used to get like fucking Robitussin. Ew. That shit was gross. Just looking at a bottle like that reminds me of fucking...
Your mom used to give you a Robitussin?
Yes.
I don't even remember that. I mean, I wouldn't imagine that.
Robitussin, NyQuil, or Quill. But I fucking hated Robitussin, dude.
Pues sí, güey, porque
dude, it was fucking nasty.
Apparently, from what I heard, I don't know if this is true. If somebody that knows Estela from when she was little, let us know in the comments. But apparently she was fucking bad, so she needed the Robitussin. But I just need to talk to my dad about this because I don't know if he knows that he was almost killed. He almost killed me. I was popping that shit like Skittles, bitch.
But here you are.
Well, here I am.
Hierba mala nunca muere.
Pero como quiera le voy a decir because, he's trying to kill his child and shit. But anyways... We're done with the case. Let us know what you think about this case.
Yes.
Please,
We'll talk about it in the comments.
Please let us know what you think. Talk about it in the comments. Not only that, but please let us know how we're doing. If we're doing good, if we're doing bad.
Rate the podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Yeah. Send us an email. Do you remember the Tylenol murders?
Do you remember the Tylenol murders?
Yeah.
Do you remember your parents giving Tylenol when you were little? Pa que te durmieras? Like
Robitussin, you name it.
Or you would drink like you remember when they would give us that pink medicine?
Oh, that was my favorite, the chicle.
But thank you so much for everybody that is actually joined our bros, dudes, guys, people
on Insta.
So let me tell y'all a story real quick. I know we're about to finish up, but my sister is now according to her, the president, which she thinks she's a president of something, but she's not. The president of our media team, right? So now it's 3 of us. Yay! We need shirts.
She just helps us with our Instagram page. Because we're not marketing savvy. Okay, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. See you in the next one. Bye. Güey, está bien pinche caliente.
Bro.
Why are we wearing all black?
Because that's our fucking life.